Madam Secretary, I'm also going to need your help on this. So I just need to let them know that they have reviewed the paperwork. So I'm hoping that you have had an opportunity to review the documentation that was provided by the foundation, where it notes that the foundation did make the motion and approve to have JFK University as the vendor to provide the online chamber leader certificate. And now what we are asking the board is to ratify
The agreement.
the agreement.
Okay, you might want to also mention briefly on why we made a decision and the savings.
Right, so I've been asked to also to provide you with just a little bit more of information, and we did have and I'll just go a little bit more, for those of you who maybe have not had an opportunity to read the documentation. We did have an RFP, of which there were about 6 universities and vendors who received the RFP, of which 2 then responded, and then the last 2 were JFK and the institution in San Diego, and I'm sorry,
San Diego State.
no, it's Alliant International, of which the foundation voted on the JFK as the vendor of choice due to several things. Number one was that we were asking that they provide the online certificate program in both languages, English and in Spanish. Also, the cost factor in which JFK University is not charging us with the development fees of $30,000. So this is what was taken into consideration of what the board did vote to pursue with JFK. And so now we are asking for the board here to ratify the agreement.
So you need a motion and then.
May I? So you're presenting a proposal or a recommendation from the foundation to us. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
I move to forward with the JFK online business institute training in English.
Second. This discussion. I'll call for the question. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Castro.
Good job.
So I'm going to mark it as abstain. You're abstaining from the vote.
Oh, absolutely, I did say.
No, I believe she can vote now.
She probably vote now because she abstained at when
There's a
you.
motion.
much better off.
Okay.
Yes.
I abstain.
Quick.
I know.
Sign here.
Find something?
Get you on that show.
I also wanted to let you know that at the convention, we will, JFK will be showcasing the opportunity to get everybody interested in the leadership certificate program that's being made available first time ever to the chamber.
Yeah, she
We're
didn't
done.
sign. I didn't get it, not even the pen, I can't even keep the pen.
Hi, Obama.
But I want to thank the foundation for the work. This is going to be great because it's in Spanish. Thank you. Okay. Is Albert back on the line? Okay, Albert. Sorry that we messed up the timing.
No, not at all. Thank you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm excited about the reception yesterday. I thought that was excellent. So kudos to everybody. I thought that elected forum was amazing. So kudos to that. I did want to say that if Sophia already does need a chaperone, I would like to volunteer. Being that I'm the only Panamanian and she's Colombian, it's the closest there. So just so everybody is in agreement for a chaperone, I would like to volunteer for that position.
And Albert, I chaperone her husband.
We can do that. Perfect.
I'll take that note.
I wanted to, from the membership committee, I have to say that, with the staff, having Alex back has been amazing. Alex, welcome back. He's been an amazing trooper. Earlier, a few board meetings ago, as you know, I took the member service committee back, simply because Simon was better served on the marketing side of what we do. So I think from, our efforts in maintaining, the goals that we set last year for the membership committee, we've been able to kind of set the same track. I'm not looking at the exact agenda, so I'm just kind of going off memory here. But, some of our membership goals, obviously is focused on membership engagement, maintaining an 80% retention, focusing not only on our certified chambers, but really focusing on how else can grow. And what we've found is that when we engage with a lot of our affiliates, obviously affiliates like NLBWA have been amazing to work with, but there's several other affiliates that we began to engage with, and it really helps us grow the organization. And, obviously with this new foundation and some of the foundation programs, being able to offer these services to not only certified chambers, but to our affiliates, really gives us a lot of leverage. As you can see today, where the membership committee wants to ratify several affiliates that we've brought to the table with the help of the Inland Empire region, with the work with our chairman and Juanita, bringing in, we're looking at bringing 4 new affiliates within that region, and obviously in the southern region we have 3 affiliates that we're bringing on. And I think from the central central and northern region, we're starting to engage with other business associations as well as such as NAREF and Shimpa, MANA, and other organizations that want to engage with us. Due to obviously what we're doing, they see the activity, they're excited about the convention. So I think that from a membership committee, our growth is to focus on our core, which is our between 35 to 40 certified chambers that we have, and hopefully by next year we can probably grow by adding. And I don't think that the mission of the organization really changes. I think it really strengthens the organization because we're keeping our core as certified chambers that continues to empower small businesses. And with these associations, with the Black chambers, the Asian chambers, it only strengthens us by numbers. So that's really kind of the concept that we would like to present from the membership service. That's really the direction that I think that we would like to go. I don't necessarily see a lot of other Hispanic chambers of commerce coming in the state. I think a lot of the ones that are established are established. From a retention, I think our retention is up. We had, kudos to central and northern region. We got everybody back. No questions, no issues. So, strong chambers, everybody's back. There's a couple in the central region that we're still working on. I forget the name of the chamber that Dora was in, but we're having conversations with them. In the Inland Empire, there was, a couple of chambers that we weren't able to get. Obviously everybody is aware of the Ontario Hispanic Chamber of Commerce I think in relation to our Inland Empire leadership, they did a lot of work trying to talk to that chamber. I myself volunteered and thought that I could, hopefully get it to a point where they would, come in and we would make right, through the challenge of the Covered California issue and rectify that issue. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. But at the same time, I don't see that hurting us in a sense that, there are certain chambers that may not want to be a part of it. And in my opinion, that's okay, because there's several other organizations that do. And I think that our focus needs to be on those that do. Within the Inland Empire, we have the Ontario Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, along with the Greater Montana Chamber, that are not joining this year, certified chambers. But we grew by adding 4 other affiliates to the region. So I think that, and then we have 2 other chambers that are looking to complete their paperwork by convention. They're looking to become parts of our chamber as well. In the southern region, we were the only chamber that we were not able to get back with the LA Metro Chamber. I spoke to Heredia and some of the people there, and they just thought that this year they were not ready to, they were not going to be renewing their membership, but would consider potentially maybe after the convention seeing becoming a member. I'm sure they're going to be there, as all of them will be. So I'm not worried about the LA Metro. I think that I'll continue to work on that. We'll get them back. Most importantly, I think for the region, getting the regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has been one of my focuses. I'm happy to say that Sandy Cajas will be coming back. We're looking with newly elected Vice Chair Dosa. We're looking to bring him on as an associate director. And I think that strengthens the southern region within that Long Beach area. So, I think that they've seen the turn, they see where we're going, and I think those strong partners are going to accomplish. And then again, affiliates are going to continue to grow. At this time, I do want to open up the opportunity to set up to move. Mr. King, help me out here. To make a motion to ratify the new affiliates that we have presented. We have completed all the paperwork, all of the letters have been reviewed. These chambers have been vetted out from the regional chairs, from conversations through staff, and we think that these additions will strengthen our chamber.
Albert, this is Alex. Really quick before we get to that, we do have one extra one that just came in at the end, and that's the Black Chamber of the Inland Empire. Also got their stuff in, and I know we're working on that. So they're not on this list. This was updated as of Wednesday, so just so we know, there's an extra one in there that's not actually up on the screen right now.
Yeah, we know that the only I know NLBWA and just had a change in president 2 weeks ago. So they have the paperwork, they'll be completing it. So we'll have them on, at this point, we'll have them on by in our next meeting at the convention. So that won't be an issue, as well as the regional Hispanic. I think by then they'll become members. So, excellent. I'm glad that we were confused. There's 2 Black Chambers of Commerce that were looking to become members. So I'm glad that everybody got the paperwork. And honestly, this was been, Alex, what do you say? Probably the smoothest year that we've had.
The absolute smoothest year I've ever done this. Believe me. And yes, as Albert can attest to, he called probably Thursday before everything was due Monday and had about 6 chambers who were certified. Everybody else wasn't. He called me a little nervous, but I told him that's the best I've ever had. Walking in with 6 on the last day. That's the best I've ever had, and it was great. And I think the real point here is that walking in on that last day, even though we didn't have that many, I had spoken to everybody. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. They had contacted me, or I was able to talk to them, and I knew they had it in their hands. They're working on it. There was no, we didn't receive it. There was no, well, I don't know, I don't understand this. Everybody had it. Everybody was talked to. It's not by me, by one of the regional chairs, by Albert himself. I think Frank called a couple of them too to make sure they were good. So this was actually absolutely one of the easiest years I've ever done this.
And the member engagement, I mean, honestly, from every single board member, you know, I think that the real turn is what our leadership has been able to do. You know, I think, you know, our chairman, you know, you set it up and said, hey, we need to engage with our chambers, we need to engage with them, get them involved, get them engaged. You know, the procurement with Gilbert, you know, that procurement really gave us a buzz. You know, in San Diego, I know it did in the Empire and other areas. So I think that we're really making a turn, and we can really capitalize on this, and if we can bring on, you know, good 10, 15, 20 affiliates by the end of this year, you know, for our sponsors, letting them know that we're working with all of these organizations, dude, forget USACC, man, it's California's where it's at. So, you know, I think everybody would agree with that, is that we have a really good opportunity to leverage this, and I know that we're working with LGBT chambers, and honestly, that can really be a game changer for all of us. So I'm excited. So I'm always the kind of a, you know, skills and rainbows kind of guy, but I really think that we're moving forward in the right direction. So.
And Albert, just to point out too, we have the updated spreadsheet that I sent you, I believe Thursday, up here on the screen. And just the two chambers that are running behind that are actual from last year that are members is the Contra Costa Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, along with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in the Empire. Contra Costa, he was out of the country. You know, he understands he was late, and so we were trying to work to get their processing in. Understand they won't be able to vote. It's not a voting year for his region anyways, so it doesn't matter. The other one, Inland Empire, you know, I spoke with Linda. She understood she was late. She called me the day after she had gone in. She was in New York, I believe, for the past 2 months as well. She called, she said, I know I'm late. I know, you know, try and get my stuff in as soon as I can. I understand that, you know, we probably won't be able to vote as well. So just want to point those two out. They are in process. They still like us. They're still working with us. It was just, you know, situations that just happened. It was just those two. And regional, like you said, we're hoping to get them in as soon as possible.
Is there a motion on the table?
So, Albert addressed the question. Albert, I can't quite tell from here. Are you standing up? Okay, I know you're standing up. So this is a committee report, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you could say the committee moves the adoption of the following to be certified members of this organization. A committee report does not need a second. So on behalf of the committee, you can make that motion.
Okay, so the membership committee moves to ratify the affiliate chambers that have been presented to the board, and we would like to move to make them official.
Like any motion, subject to discussion.
Can you tell us which chambers again? So I
State the names.
I have them right here. I got them right here. So let's go through the affiliates. So we have Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, Bell Gardens Chamber of Commerce. It'll be yeah. And then can you scroll up? I gotta go to Inland Empire where the rest of them are. There we go. And then in the Inland Empire, the newer ones are the Colton Chamber of Commerce, the Riverside Black Chamber of Commerce, and they're not up here, but the Black Chamber of Commerce of the Inland Empire as well, and the Asian Business Association of the Inland Empire. Those are the chambers who are the brand new coming in.
And the renewal of all.
And also the renewal of the current chambers who have presented all the paperwork.
Can we add the Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and the National Latino Business Women Association? Because their paperwork is in process, am I correct?
The regional, their paperwork's in process. They're kind of, I think they're waiting until after convention, I believe that's Albert said. NLBWA, are you talking national or?
The San Diego.
San Diego? We got, I believe we got the message to them and they are working on it, correct, Albert? For the San Diego NLBWA?
Yeah, they're actually, they'll have the paperwork to you by Monday. And then I would also, I mean, we could definitely get the regional on, the regional is in the process, they'll have the paperwork by next week, they want to get those on that as well. So it's up to the board on how they would like to proceed, but, we can definitely get it put in, by next week.
Can I just say, to pending that all the documentation is there and the check is there, and everything else, otherwise it's very complicated to do that.
So you're moving to amend?
I'm just saying that for discussion purposes.
And so for discussion purposes, is it possible that, the ratification of the two, affiliates that are still working through their paperwork and can be done by the executive committee, can we make that part of the motion? And then once their paperwork's been processed, the executive committee on one of their regular standing calls could vote to ratify it?
Yes. So, yes, this body does have the authority to, grant authority to another body, such as executive committee, to do this. It does take a motion to do that,
Okay,
or an amendment to an existing.
so could we amend Albert's, motion to,
Could we, it's, I move.
I move to amend Albert's, I move to amend Albert's motion,
The
to
membership committee's motion
the membership committee's motion to include that the two.
to authorize the executive committee
There we go.
to, I guess, to finish the adoption of certified chambers.
Of certified affiliates, right? Or, I mean,
Affiliates, yes.
yeah, so I'm
Write it down.
for what he said.
Well said, Brad. Well done.
I second the motion.
It's affiliates and.
So it's members, the executive committee can set members as well?
Yes.
Would they include voting rights or not? No, not voting rights. We can't get them into the other. Perfect, I need to be able to tell people. Awesome.
Thanks for the question.
Mr. Secretary.
I think so.
You want to repeat
Okay, so Brenna moved to amend membership committee's motion to authorize the executive committee to ratify the affiliate chambers that are in progress once the paperwork is complete.
And-
Accept.
Yeah, authorize the executive committee to ratify.
And, it was seconded by, Mr. Martinez. Okay. Call for the question. We've had discussion. All questions for okay. All in favor for the amendment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Now, okay,
Just to accept the membership, membership committees.
Linda, said there was a motion. Was there a second?
Yes.
That-
Not necessarily.
Okay, okay. Call for the vote on accepting the memberships committee recommendation as amended. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any objections?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Albert.
Thank you very much. And just one thing that I wanted to add, I do want to make sure that, you know, what we could do, we'd like to try to see if we can solidify, an MOU with, our LGBT chambers as well. And make that, you know, make that part of somewhere in our agenda, throughout the convention, so they can see the unification of only, you know, our chambers, our other ethnic chambers, and, you know, being that we're working with all chambers, with no discrimination, no biases and all that. So I think that would be a very powerful statement. So thank you guys for listening, and, this meeting sounds like it's going great, so thank you guys.
Have
All right,
fun,
Albert?
have fun.
Albert? Mr. Clark?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Madrano has a membership question.
Okay.
I think this more relates to chamber membership than foundation. I'm working with a statewide organization called United Latino Students. They have member campuses college campuses that mirror our regions. And I would like to bring up for discussion purposes and if possible action later, bringing them in as junior members. What it does is it builds a pipeline for our existing membership so that we can formally have relationships with the organizations.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. What I suggest is that you get with the membership committee, discuss that, bring that to the board.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, and Juan, really quickly, can you touch on the LGBT situation, the program we're trying to work out?
Yeah, I was instructed by the chair to, and again, this is personal to me, but I follow his lead, that this is our organization. He wanted me to have the local LGBT chambers from throughout the state, and that happened right after that tragedy that happened in Florida not too long ago. And knowing that a lot of the victims were actually Latinos, and all the businesses were impacted, that were impacted were also Latinos. And he brought like a really good point. What happened in Florida could happen here too, and it could happen within a community. So what he charged me to do is to develop a like Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Hispanic LGBT business initiative. And with that, we already met with 9 LGBT chambers, which all have an interest on supporting us. We also engage with the National LGBT Chamber. And so that was some point leverage all the resources that we currently have to continue to support other demographics and also bring a whole new arm to our organization. As I keep having conversations with a lot of the LGBT chambers, San Diego collaborations and inclusion that we can bring into the organization, and that can be leveraged to a whole different level. And that's not something that is needed, I believe, within our community to work together, but it's also for new opportunities and programs and funding. So that's what we're saying.
Thank you. It's good. It's going well. We had a good conversation. The national was on it, and like Juan had pointed out. Thank you.
I actually raised my hand because I didn't want to move forward, but Dr. Judy Castro has a question.
Relates to what actually happened in Orlando is security that we need to have for our convention. So what is it that we are doing to ensure the safety? Because that might also be an issue for participants saying too much exposure. We need to provide that.
And not just Orlando, but San Bernardino during their holiday party, right?
That's true. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, in fact, I told some of the board that we were going to be having meetings with local law enforcement to discuss that, because that is a concern that I have. Coming in. So we're going to be working towards that. And
just real quickly, I'll share the experience that Bob and I had in Houston at the USHCC convention this last year when Jeb Bush spoke. We walked into a luncheon ceremony, and there was probably 700 people there, right? And Dennis, you were there too. And in the middle of the luncheon, they literally had people funnel through that were protesting the speaker. And unfortunately, what was kind of scary for all of us is that number one, these people were allowed into the room, but number two, they were shouting, and I mean, it was a scary situation, at least for me. I kind of looked around, all these people came out of nowhere, and I do think that we really need to make sure that we're conscious of that, because something like that happening, especially in a community that's already sensitive to these kinds of horrible situations, it could really spark terror in people. So.
What's this convention?
thank you, Veronica.
I was going to suggest, LALCC recognized this company. I have this information, so I've got his business quite a bit. He's like a private security out of LA, like he's all over LA, Inland Empire. maybe we create a partnership with him, give him exposure, and he can provide us with security. And they're like all in black suits, so they look almost like Secret Service, but I think it'd be nice to have that, if we're gonna need that presence, especially, I don't see us having any protesters, but.
Thank you. Doesn't this convention center have security? You would think, Anaheim Convention, you know, I've been to a lot of conventions. First they do is they check the bag to see if you're coming in, what access you have, security. It's something we need to look into. Ask that question.
Yeah, they may have a preferred vendor that they like to use. We should look into that, although I think the convention provided security, these guys are oftentimes just security guards and they're paid to observe and report and nothing more than that. And so I do think that we need some sort of a visible presence, even if they're not doing anything, but a visible presence to deter what may be an issue.
And with the recognizing of the small businesses through the 5 law enforcement's FBI, sheriff's departments, local PD, that's a discussion we're gonna have. And I'm pretty sure that they will be providing security, because that's something that I'm gonna be bringing up with them. And then what I'm gonna do is ask Jose Plasencia to make sure that all those bases are covered. Sure. Mr. Duran?
You just gotta watch when you have the city or other entities provide support, they don't bill you later.
Yep.
Good point.
Mr. King?
A lot. I appreciate what Brenda was saying. I was at the convention too. I had a very different reaction, so I was not intimidated by the protesters. I remember being one of them. So in that case, let's be careful where we point the guns. But second, it is certainly a very sad commentary that we have to give serious consideration. And we do. But we do need it in moderation with great respect for the people that are there. Because many that we serve are also very concerned for our police in a very different way. So I think we need to be respectful, courteous, cautious. So let's kind of find a balance.
Thank you. So we'll move on to committee reports. No? Oh, right, I think, hold on, let's, I think we're gonna go into, closed session. We're gonna take up the issue of the ADA. Because of all business. Because, legal counsel has to leave. So, closed session.